The double gun beams now are literally going to melt pretty much everything in their path. What's up, folks? Hello and welcome along to episode 27 of the Supreme Commander Forged Lights Forever Community Cast Library. We're in that time of year again where all the Christmas adverts start horrendously early. I'm pretty sure this time last year I was bitching about exactly the same thing. However, this year I have a confession to make, and that is that I've already completed my Christmas shopping. In my defense, it's because me and my wife are expecting our first child. He's due in December, so we just had to get everything out of the way nice and early this year. So please don't judge me too much. I hope you're all having a great week. I'm sorry this is a little bit late out, but obviously things right now are just completely bonkers. In terms of last week's episode, we changed the format at the start of the match. I haven't received too much feedback so far, but what I have had suggests that it's a good change. I just need to be a little bit more refined and quicker in doing it, so that will come with time, I hope. So we're going to stick with it for now. One thing that I didn't mention, which I should have done in the commentary last week, is I actually inserted a poll into the video so people could vote on whether they liked the change or not. We only actually got 2 votes on that, so one was positive, one was negative. So I am going to insert the poll again into this video. So I'm giving you a heads up now because I'll probably forget like a derp to say when it's going to come up again. But please just keep an eye out for that. It'll be around about the end of the introductions, just before we kick the match off itself. So, I digress. Without further ado, let's get things rocking and rolling here. Thanks, guys, and here we go. Hello and welcome to a 6 versus 6 on Adaptive Monument Valley. It is a 10 by 10 map. We're going to call this team at the top Team 1 and the team at the bottom Team 2. Starting off in the isolated plateau slot, going super sexy Siren, coming in at 1800. It is Little Sid Lil. We'll go with Sid. Next up for Team 1, going Space Pirate Alien Shenanigans, coming in at 1400. It is still Noma's Sinerv. Thirdly, we have ICOM, who's gone UEF and comes in at 1400. Also coming in at 1400 but going Aeon, it is Ghost Ronin. And then penultimately for Team 1, we have Nubeski, who's gone UEF and comes in at 1600. And then finally, we have DVD coming in at 1000 going Aeon. So in terms of the opening builds for Team 1, we have 3 out of the 6 players going traditional Hydro Rush builds. The 3 that aren't are still ICOM and DVD, so let's just have a little nosy at what these guys are going to be up to. And still is starting off with first max point, second and third P-Gen, fourth P-Gen, fifth max, sixth P-Gen, seventh, what? So there's a whole mishmash of things going on in Still's opening build order here. ICOM is going second and third P-Gen, and then he's going to open up the 4 core maxes. DVD has gone second and third max with fourth and fifth P-Gen. He is not taking up his remaining 2 starting maxes. It looks like he's going to leave those until the Hydro has completed. That is curious. Why would you do that? I don't know. Explanation in the description if you think that's a good opening build. So not too much shenanigans going on from Team 1. There is a few mishmashy opening builds here. But if you want to be super Anaraki or anal, I would just take a look at Ghost Ronin and Icon and the difference between those 2 guys. And we're just coming up to 2 minutes here, and we're just going to take a look and see if there's much of a difference in terms of economy and see which one is better. So 2 minutes, bang, pause. So at 2 minutes, Ghost Ronin, bearing in mind that his comm is already halfway towards middle, which on this map is a plus. So total mass for Ghost Ronin is 1.2, total mass for ICOM is 1.1, and power, just flipping over to total power income, Ghost Ronin is 9.5, ICOM is 9.7. So I guess it's, well, actually, letting it play just a couple of seconds there, Ghost Ronin jumps up to 200 more mass income than ICOM. So I think this is better. It's more, it's better in terms of the numbers, very slightly. But what I really like about it is how it's freed Ronin's comm to move to middle pretty quickly, and ICOM is going to sit in his base building T1 PGens with his commander. So marginal numbers, but power projection, if you want to call it that, much more strong from Ronin. So that's Team 1 pretty much wrapped up there, and let's take a look at Team 2. And for Team 2, first up we have Dro coming in at 1900, going super sexy Cybran. Second up for Team 2, it is Death Squad, who's gone UEF and comes in at 1700. And then we have Choboots coming in at 1500, who's gone Aeon. Next up we have Buttkicker, who's UEF and coming in at 800. And fifthly for Team 2, it is Cough Noob, also going UEF but coming in at 1300. And then finally for Team 2, another UEF selection weighing in at 1500, it is Rohawk. And things much simpler over on the Team 2 side of the map, or at least it might be. It looks like we've got everyone opening with a traditional Hydra Rush. I'm saying that, but there we go. Drew just deciding what he was going for that. And yes, indeed, everyone opening up with a traditional Hydra Rush there, apart from Rohawk, who's gone first and second mechs, and then third and fourth PGen, and then he's going to take up the remaining two mexes, and it looks like his first engineer is going to take the Hydro. So pretty standard opening from Team 2. I just want to forward this to 2 minutes actually, and just see if there's much of a difference between the income of Team 1 and Team 2. So at 2 minutes we spoke about how I'm not too fond of some of the openings on Team 1, and Team 2's openings pretty standard. So does that make a difference in terms of the numbers? And yes, it does actually. So the mass income differential between the two teams is currently 1000. So Team 2 at minute 2 have 1000 more mass, and they have 200 more power, and they're gaining 2 mechs a tick more. So I think that pretty much flawlessly articulates what I'm trying to say about the hish posh of openings from some of the players on Team 1. And I think that's about it. There's nothing exciting or unconventional going on the side of Team 2, so we're going to kick things straight over to the action now. So here we go. So all of our players have got their starter bases up and running, and we've got a collection of ACUs making their way forward now to the wreckage available in the middle of the map. So we'll just do a quick reclaim heat map, and as we can see, there's quite a lot of reclaim on this map, mostly located around the edges of the topographical features. So we've got rocks around all the bases of the cliffs, and then we've got wrecks of varying values in the middle of the map, and they're being slowly depleted as the ACUs and engineers make their way forward. And actually, if we just take a look at Death Squad's base cliff here, at the start of the game that would have looked something like this, maybe a little bit more as we look on the mirrored opposite there of DVD's area. So in the early stages here, Dro taking a Dyson to the base of his cliff area, completely sucking it dry. And if you don't know what a Dyson is, it's a premium brand of vacuum cleaner. I don't know if it's a global brand thing. I must remember to go vacuum cleaner shopping on my next holiday. I must know the answer to this question. So we've got Dro edging up the left, taking reclaim as he goes. We've got a series of drops going down from Death Squad here. He's actually managed to get into right in the top left hand corner of the map, and he's dropped 3 engineers, and they're looking like they're going into a kind of firebase assault area. I'm probably aiming to compete for the civilian mass, what should belong to Team 1. Over on the right now we've got Kofnube advancing on some units of DVD, and the two comms now going into some civilized right arm exchange. And we've actually got Nubeski moving in from right to left here to reinforce DVD. And the attack ping going down on Kofnube's ACU here, and he's just realizing now that he's in a 2 versus 1 situation as assist pings start going down. We've got Ghost Ronin moving in from the north here to support DVD and Nubeski. Kofnube just a little bit of handy micro there, just avoiding for a few extra seconds the second right arm beams from Nubeski's ACU. And Kofnube now down to half health. He's got a few units mustered up here, and that seems to have been enough to deter DVD from pursuing any longer. But Nubeski is all in, balls deep on this pursuit of Kofnube's ACU. Ghost Ronin continue to move down and thin out the units of Kofnube. We've got bombers coming in from Rohawk as well, and Kofnube now into the red, less than 2,000 hit points. But Nubeski is starting to run into a lot of units, and Butt Kicker here moving in a tirade of T1 tanks, and Nubeski just moving his combat there, and his comm switching over to units instead of the ACU, and the ACU of Kofnube looking doomed. It's completely flipped, and Nubeski now is actually going to go down to a whole lot of T1 land spam from Kofnube and Butt Kicker. And Nubeski there complaining about the epic ACU aiming in team chat. Well, if he hadn't moved away from the ACU at the critical moment, he probably wouldn't have switched targets, and I don't actually think, with the hit points that Kofnube's got left, that it would have made much of a difference. I don't think he would have got Kofnube. It would have been really close though. But Nubeski going down in under 7 minutes there, and I'm sure his teammates are going to be thrilled with that display. And Ronin now has got his work cut out, as he's going to have to try and get a tirade of spam up here to shore up the centre and right lines of Team 2. DVD needs to do the same, but he doesn't look like he's about to start spamming anytime soon. Instead, he's just chasing away some units offered up by Rohawk here. Over on the left centre, we've got pushes from Dro and Still. Sid looking like he's starting to reinforce with a small party of Mantis into support Still. We've got some T2 point defense up from Still now, as he starts to construct what looks like it's going to be a fire base. Dro just rediverting his units to dispatch the push from Sid. On the top left corner of the map, this base that Death Squad started, he's been producing T1 RT. He actually looks like he's managed to get a significant chunk of the reclaim in this top left hand corner, which really should be going to Team 1. So that's handy work being done there by Death Squad. The more of that he can get, the better for he and his team. And back in the centre and right extremities now, Ronin stretching across from the centre to the right flank of his forward line, having to repel pushes from multiple parties, Choboots, Rohawk and Kofnoob. DVD still offering very little in terms of support or unit count for his team. We've got a push from Still in the left center of the map here, and he looks like he's trying to envelop the ACU of Dro here, and Dro just running into a spot of bother, but he's reinforcing with his own T1 unit, so I don't think this is going to be too much of a problem for Dro. We've also got the T2 gunships just helping out there, so Dro's going to be just fine, and I'm sure Dro will appreciate the mass field that he's now inherited. We saw what he did with the base of the cliff in a Dyson. Team 2 pressuring the right hand side now through Kof and Rohawk, as Ronin starting to look like he's running out of units here, and still very little unit count from DVD. Let's just jump into DVD a second. And we've got 10 Aurora on the field. I mean, we're not going to count the anti-air, but 10 Aurora. That's literally a unit, an offensive unit for every minute of the game so far. It's not good enough. And Rohawk and Kofnoob looking like they're set to take full advantage of DVD's lackadaisical play thus far, and Dro also moving across a couple of T2 gunships here, and DVD starting to come under some substantial pressure, just dropping towards the 8,000 hit points mark. We do have some AA rolling down from DVD, and they should make tidy work of the gunships of Dro, but we got Corsairs moving in as well now from Dro, and DVD now below half health. He has picked up a level of veterancy, but I don't see any air support from his teammates here, and DVD is in all sorts of trouble now as he goes into the red. He's below 1,500 hit points. I have a sneaky suspicion that this cliff is going to block the Corsair volleys, and indeed it does. Just see there, the edge of the cliff taking all of that damage and saving DVD's life for a little bit longer, but as soon as they turn around, there's still no air support from DVD's teammates, and this volley is going to take DVD out, and DVD goes pop to a Corsair snipe from Dro ultimately, although he was pressured all the way back up this right hand flank by Rohawk and Kof, and Ronin, who has made quite a lot of units, was unable to keep back the joint push from Team 2 there, and we've now got Dro dispatching T2 power generation on Team 1. So far, Ronin having lost, well, he's now lost 2 T2 power generators. We've got a gunship working on some upgrading engineers here, and now Dro rediverting his attention to ICOM's Tech 2 power. Let's just take a look if that's going to cause power issues for ICOM. He's still managed to hold on to this T2 power gen. It's not gone down yet. But we do have more Corsairs coming in from Dro. So that's 3 T2 power generators claimed by the Corsairs of Dro, and that has sent Ronin momentarily into a power deficiency, but I don't think it's caused any power lock. So good work being done by Dro, but it's not going to have the completely desired effect. And in the center of the map here, we've got Still now. He's got his firebase established. He's gone Gun, Nano and Tech 2 on his Seraphim ACU, and Dro now is peppering the shields of Still with some Vipers. Still would be well advised to get some more TMD online pretty sharpish. Coming up to minute 14 now. It's just checking with the air players. And Sid is T3 air with T3 power. And Rohawk is still getting up the T3 power for his setup. So it looks like Sid taking an early-ish lead here in terms of ASF numbers. Back in the center and still now pushing in a contingent of T1 units, presumably to try and kill off those Vipers, which were starting to cause problems. We can see there the shields on the firebase of Still have nearly collapsed, and actually Still's ACU going into a gun splash upgrade at minute 14, and as you can see there's a huge power deficiency there for Still, and he's just pulsing the assist with the engineers off and on to keep the shield up. And having lost the shield, I'm pretty sure Still is just going to power stall all the way through this upgrade now. No need to keep the shields up, no need to turn the assist off. And indeed, that looks like what he's doing for the most part. He's got some donations there from his teammates, I think, maybe. But Dro missing an opportunity there. He's spent so much attention and focus with his Vipers trying to take out the T1 point defense. If he diverted that firepower onto the ACU, that might have caused some issue for Still, but he's in the latter stages of that gun upgrade now. And actually, I've only just noticed this, but Butt Kicker has given away all of his base. It's been divvied up between the remaining members, apart from Kofnoob actually. Well, Rohawk hasn't. So Choboots has been given half of the starting area, and then Death Squad's been given a max, as has Dro. So the gun upgrade has finished on Still's comm. It doesn't look like he intends on going double nano, and now the tripod of the double gun Seraphim ACU makes its way forward to the formation of helpless units belonging to Dro. And the double gun beams now are literally going to melt pretty much everything in their path. And the T2 point defense effortlessly dispatched. And what's he got queued up here? Still, it looks like he plans on pushing deeper into Team 2 territory. We do have a push up there from Choboots as he looks to cut around the back of the ACU of Still and take out his firebase. I really don't think at this point that Still is too concerned about that. He's got his full tripod mode on and he's marching straight for the bases of Team 2. And we've got gunships taking out the units of Cho, and that triggers an air battle between Rohawk, Sid and Com. And Sid's micro in particular there looks a little bit better. The turns are cleaner and tidier, and they've brought him out behind the formation of Rohawk, so I'm pretty sure Team 1 had an advantage in terms of ASF numbers anyway, but Team 1 definitely comfortably claiming air control there. Checking back in with Mr. Tripod, and he's just about to make base fall on Choboots' ACU. We can see the ACU of Choboots just in the distance there. He's 39-40% done on a shield upgrade. And we just see the peripheral structures of Choboots' base being completely decimated. And Choboots needs to be careful with his ACU here. I don't think Team 2 realise what Still is packing. And the shield upgrade is going to complete on Choboots' ACU. But the double gun on that Seraphim Com, just look at what it's doing to Choboots' shield. It's completely gone. He's only had it for 5 seconds. And Choboots here, there's nothing he can do in this situation. Choboots is going to go down to the mini chicken tripod of Still Nomarishev. Butt kicker doesn't look like he's going to be far behind. I'm not actually sure how Butt kicker is playing this, given that he's donated his base off to everyone. Butt kicker's dispatched, and now Still setting his sights on Death Squad's base. He needs to start shooting these Ravs. Why is he shooting Sams? Oh, that's a terrible mistake there by Still. He saw the ACU of Death Squad. He got a little bit greedy. He should have been on the Ravs. He saw the Ravs almost immediately upon entering the base of Death Squad. They were unshielded. So, really cool play from Still. But a little bit of a derp at the end, not trying to shoot down the Ravs. I think he would have been okay. I mean, what, 1 or 2 volleys per Rav? He would have been fine. And Death Squad would definitely, almost certainly, maybe be dead. And that's just sent the game into a little bit of a lull here, so we're gonna take an eco check and see how the remaining players are faring. And mass income right now topping the charts on 186 per tick is, perhaps unsurprisingly, Sid. In second place it's Rohawk on 164, and whoa, back in third place it's Ghost Ronin on 122. In terms of energy income, top of the charts is Rohawk on 6.7, ICOM on 6.4, and then in third place it's Death Squad on 6.2. In terms of team versus team, Eco is pretty tight actually. Well, not so tight. Team 1 with a 25 lead of passive income per tick over Team 2, but Team 2 with just a slightly higher power income. So the game evened out a little bit, even though it's 4 versus 3 in the favor of Team 2. Ronin looks like he's done a good job filling out the vacated spots left by DVD. ICOM has taken the former base of Nubeski. And we've actually got a GC here in the early stages by Ronin. Just having a scout around just to see what else players have got planned up. Let's just bump this up to speed 3 for a little bit. The inevitable lull that occurs in most matches when opponents are dispatched and the teams look to fill the voids, perhaps focusing more on filling that void than applying pressure. And Kofnoob actually starting a fat boy there. Let's just check in with the air players and see how we're doing on ASF count. So Sid up to 22 ASF. He seems to be the main air player for Team 1. And Rohawk the main air player for Team 2 with 23 ASF. So Rohawk has caught up here, but ICOM is helping out with air, and ICOM has 11 ASF, so there's a very slight advantage for Team 1 in the terms of ASF air control. And Rohawk now pushing forward with a body of Titans into a mixture of T2 and T1 units being offered up by Ronin, and the Titans are going to make relatively short work here. They seem to be mainly focusing down on the T2 Obsidian tanks, and that chicken, that GC in the final 25% of construction. It doesn't look like it's been scouted at all by Team 2 here. They know nothing of its existence, it would seem. We do have Ronin also stacking up a number of T2AA, the staple accompaniment for any land-based experimental. Death Squad going into RAS here on his UEF ACU. He's only got T2 on his comm as to yet. And an exchange between Sid and Dro now taking place on the left-hand side of the map. Dro looking like he's focusing down on the units a little bit better than Sid is. Sid looks like he's more concentrating on microing the bricks as opposed to focusing fire, and it looks like focusing fire is winning the day in that exchange. And the GC is complete. It is now rolling forward. It's making its way. Looks like it's going to be making its entrance into Cough space first. We've actually got a cheeky little engineer being offered up by Death Squad here, just following the units of Dro, sucking in the brick wrecks. There are a couple of support volleys being offered up by some T3 artillery belonging to Dro, but it looks like that Dro is starting to wear thin on numbers here, and we actually see Sid has completed his own experimental. He's got a Monkey Lord online. And let's check in with that GC. I'm pretty sure they'll know it exists now. Rohawk has maneuvered his Titans off to the right hand side. He intends to let the GC pass and then move in at the rear of the GC, but it looks like Ronin's realised the plan and he's just shepherding the Titans to move away. And now he's reversed course, but the Titans just retreat a little bit too much, and that looks like a pretty big gap now between the Titans of Rohawk and the GC of Ronin. And the GC now is imminently about to breach the starting area of Kofnu. We've got some gunships rolling in from Rohawk and Death Squad, but the T2AA being offered up in support for the GC are doing good work, and it's only a matter of time. And here we go, Team 1 moving in, all the ASF here offering up maximum air support for the GC, primarying the gunships, and Kofnu there actually control K'ing his entire base to deny the GC some veterancy, and the airfight continues at the back here as the gunships wear down the GC, but Team 2 quickly lose all of their ASF, and now ICOM and Sid's ASF start to mop up the broadswords being offered by Rohawk and Death Squad, and now an almost iron grip of air control is implemented over the skies of this GC, and it's given almost free rein here. And finally the Titans start to catch up with the GC, and Ronin's just circling that GC around to the right to try and intercept and deal with these Titans, and it doesn't look like that the fire is being particularly effective here. There's some good micro going down from Rohawk as he tries to keep the Titans mainly behind the GC, and the GC, it's just not managing to use its left kind of magnet arm, and it's deep into the red now, and it's making its way here. Oh, and actually the Spider from Sid has come down all the way down the left flank, and that's breached the starting area of Dro. That's run into some Ravs. The GC finally gets taken out by the Titans, and the Monkey Lord looks like it's going down to Ravagers, a couple of bricks and some T2 point defense. So ultimately the pincer maneuver employed there by Sid and Ronin turns into a pretty substantial mass donation. Not too much damage done to Dro's base. Yeah, okay, he's lost a couple of maxes, some power, but I think Dro will take that situation given the mass that's just been deposited on his doorstep. And what are Team 2 up to? I don't see too much being offered up in the form of units here. Death Squad is expanding his air grid, so Death Squad looking like he's going to try and move into supporting Rohawk in air control. That would make sense given that Rohawk has been 2v1 pretty much all the way through this match against Sid and Icom. We've actually got a nuke launcher here, about 2/3 done from Icon. And I'm still not seeing a plan here on how Team 2 intend on winning this match. Dro is understandably set on rebuilding what he's lost at the minute. Sid just edging forward with a couple of bricks, just continuing to apply some pressure, looking to take out a couple of T2 maxes here, and we just see that one there going down, and I'm pretty sure another one will shortly follow. We got some T2, I thought that was T2 Arty. Is there no T2 Arty? There's no T2 Arty. I lied. And now the bricks starting to make way into the bases of Team 2, but surely they're going to be dispatched relatively easily. I'm not sure why Sid has sent them forward on their own. Maybe they were ordered to follow the spider, but they were a little bit late. I don't know. So we just see a notification now that Death Squad has actually completed the construction of a nuke launcher, and indeed we see it there. And Dro now, having rebuilt some of his base, some of his base, goes into the rapid construction of a Monkey Lord here. Obviously just recycling the mass income which he's taking from that GC wreck right there. And little Sid telling Icon there to go T3 maxes and then Arty. Over on the right now we've got a push coming down the side from Ronin. Minor defense being offered up by Koff. There is pillars. Sorry. And the Percies of Rohawk just shepherding away the harbingers of Ronin. And Dro has completed the Monkey Lord. And actually we've got Death Squad here, who's a third done on a T3 artillery, a Duke going up from Death Squad. And we just see here that the menacing circling of ASF of T1 almost on the very doorstep of Team 2 here. Good time to take an ASF count. And 63 ASF for Sid. 19, so 82 ASF on the field for Team 1 right now. Let's just jump into Rohawk. So 41 for Rohawk. So by a margin of 10 or 11, Team 1 still have the air advantage, although Team 2 actually doing really good work considering that they lost almost all of their air only a few minutes ago, managing to catch it up quite quickly, and that of course will be in no small part due to the fact that Death Squad's managed to construct a reasonable air grid to assist Rohawk. Rohawk continuing to solo the right flank against Ronin here with reasonable security. It looks like we've got Ronin just moving some T3 mobile artillery down now to try and apply more pressure. And the Monkey Lord making its way forward from Dro. I did see the completion of a megalith here for Sid, so that's going to be a very stern test for the limited defences currently offered by Team 2. And the nuke launcher from ICOM, very almost completed. Excuse me. And a salvation has been started by Ronin. I think that's a little bit ambitious. Icon there just saying in team chat that his nuke is ready. And if we just take a look at this, Rohawk has 2 SMDs loaded, and in team chat right there, Icom's teammates telling him that Death Squad's only just completed his SMD. Oh, and Comms decided to nuke Rohawk, so Com there going against the advice of everyone in his team, and Sid calling him an idiot. So Icom here, and we can verify that Death Squad has nothing. Oh, that was the launcher. And no anti-nuke loaded for Death Squad there, so a massive mistake there from ICOM. I can't believe he decided to nuke Rohawk when everyone in his team was telling him to nuke Death Squad. And actually, why wouldn't you nuke Death Squad? Because just look how much more you could destroy. You've got 2 players in that vicinity. By nuking Rohawk, you're only taking out 1. It did not make any sense, but he did it anyway. And the megalith now starting to edge ever closer. And we've got the ACU of Dro there just starting to tuck tail and run. So the Monkey Lord just being manoeuvred here behind the Ravagers. Death Squad's managed to get up a fairly chunky line of Ravagers now. We've got some T2 artillery being offered up by Dro. I'm not sure how effective all of this is going to be. And the Ravagers start to go to work on the megalith. The megalith is wearing down the shields, and Death Squad needs to be careful with his ACU here. He's not far from being in the firing line himself, and now the Monkey Lord's deployed by Dro. Excellent timing there. Even taking out a few Percivals instead of killing off the megalith. So an excellent teamwork display there by Death Squad and Dro. Pretty comfortably in the end dispatching that megalith, and that is yet another colossal mass donation on the doorstep of Team 2. And we just see there that Dro actually going into the construction of his own T3 artillery. Death Squad's Duke is finished, and he's started a second So what's Death Squad going for here? It looks like his initial salvos are opening up on the base of Sid. I'm not sure that's a good idea myself. We've got some upgraded hives belonging to Sid here, and they are definitely shield assisting Sid there. Was that just a quick power lock? So Sid does actually have a couple of power issues here. When he shield assists with those hives, it's power locking him, so he needs to be really careful with how he manages that. But actually, Death Squad has already changed up and switched over his attention to ICOM. I wouldn't be surprised, given the fact that Death Squad has built a nuke, that if he's not aiming for the anti-nuke belonging to ICOM, I imagine that's the target now. There's a counter push up the left side with what remains on the Monkey Lord. I'm not sure what good that will come to. And now there's a Fat Boy that's being built by Rohawk. The shields have actually already fallen on it, so I'm not quite sure how that happened. But a Fat Boy with a whole metric fuck ton of Percivals backing it up are going to be a problem here. Oh, and actually we see some TML launches there by Sid, so perhaps the TML is how the Fatty lost its shields. And now the Monkey Lord of Dro starts to make headway into the left expansion of Sid, but back on the right, the Fatty's almost recharged its shields. It's working its way into laying down some artillery fire on some mobile T3 artillery as it just volleys off into the mound you can see in the middle of the map. Of course, the artillery doesn't have that problem as it's lobbing its shells over the mountain pass. And now Ronin looking to charge down the Fat Boy with Harbingers, deciding against it and pulling them back. Oh, and we've got what looks like the brewings of an air fight here over the Monkey Lord here, and Death Squad does indeed turn his ASF, going headlong into the ASF of Sid and ICOM, and it's a massive exchange. Rohawk not offering up his ASF to support Death Squad. The last time we checked in, Team 1 just about had the numbers, but Death Squad's micro here, his turns are tight and tidy, and it doesn't look like that Sid was microing his ASF at all there. So Death Squad coming out with a very impressive air win there, and that, for the first time in the game, ladies and gentlemen, gives Team 2 air control. How quickly things turn, but actually as a whole lot of strats at the top of the map now for Sid. And we've got 2 artillery online here for Team 2, Dro and Death Squad, and I'm pretty sure there must be an arty. Yes, there is. There's an arty on Team 1 as well. Sorry, I missed the construction of that. But we can just see that the 2 arties of Team 2 wearing down the edge of Ronin's power grid, working their way inward. I'm surprised that they haven't managed to make more headway. It looks like ICOM managed to keep his shields up as well. We've got a second nuke being launched here by ICOM, and this time it's heading for the base of Cough Noob. Cough Noob does have SMD, but it's not loaded. I'm not sure if Rohawk's SMD is gonna block this. I think it will. So Rohawk shoots down the second nuke as well, There's the confirmation. So 2 nukes wasted by Icon there. Very sinful nuke usage. The first one definitely should have been sent in this vicinity. His team told him so, and actually the single arty of Ronin has made far more progress than the 2 arties of Dro and Death Squad, as Death Squad's lost his air grid here, so I'm guessing that Team 2's grip on air control won't last for much longer because they won't be able to keep up the numbers. We've got strat bombers moving north here from Rohawk, and the target looks to be Ronin's ACU, but not all the shields go down, but I'm sure that's going to help the arty get through. And all of those all of those strats, well, nearly all of them taken out here. Some of them are going to get a second pass in, but still no penetration on Ronin's shields, and Sid's strats now are en route, heading southwards, making a direct beeline here for Rohawk. Where's Rohawk got his ACU parked? He's just there in the centre, and Rohawk's seen the incoming strat bombers. All of the strats get off from Sid. The shields go down, and the first pass takes Rohawk down to half health. And there's just a couple of stragglers as well, and Rohawk now 4,200 hit points, but we need to just slow things down here. There's a sneaky 2 strat bombers that survived the first pass, and they're coming back up from the north now, and they both get their strats off, but the strats are blocked by the ASF of Death Squad. So Rohawk with a huge slice of luck there. That surely would have killed him if the 2 bombs wouldn't directly kill Rohawk. The exploding T3 power generator surely would have. So Rohawk surviving at the cost of 20 or so of Death Squad's ASF, as his ASF block the last 2 incoming strats, and actually there's another one on its way in, and that gets its bomb off, and Rohawk surviving by the skin of his teeth. And it looks like artillery fire from Ronin's penetrating the rear area of Death Squad's base, taking out some T3 power. And that's exactly what Ronin's doing. He's trying to pick off the unshielded P-gens at the back, and Sid's pushed all the way down the centre here with a large contingent of Harbingers. That's an interesting choice given that he's a Cybran player for this match. Kofnoob is having to scramble his ACU to safety as Dro moves to intercept the push with a Monkey Lord. There's also a Fat Boy that's very near completion for Kofnoob. And Rohawk moving in his Percivals just to mop up that, but I can't believe Rohawk managed to survive that because of the ASF blocking the strats. We've got another Monkey Lord. Oh, and actually there's a fucking huge TML base here that's been built by Sid. It's got T2 stealth up as well, and if we jump into Team 2, they have not got a clue that it's there. And we've got T2 Arty just peppering the Fat Boy, making sure that the Fat Boy can't make too much advance from Rohawk. But all the action, what's going to happen with this TML from Sid? If we just cut down into the bases of Dro and Death Squad, I don't see a single TMD. We're just waiting in anticipation. And there's the first salvo. Where's he going for? I can't see an attack order, and there's a nuke come out from ICOM, and actually there's 3 salvos that have been launched here by Sid. The first salvo looks headed for the disruptor of Dro, and the disruptor goes down. The second, where's the second salvo going here? Oh, it's going for the SMD here, and now Team 2 have lost the SMD in the center of Death Squad's base, and the third salvo takes out one of Death Squad's Dukes. And unbelievably to me, ICOM with his third nuke decides to take out a small fire base belonging to Rohawk, so no communication there on Team 1. If Sid had told ICOM that he was about to take out the SMD of Death Squad, I'm pretty sure ICOM would have nuked that area instead, as he should have. And of course, SMD loaded for Team 1, no problems there, and that's going to wrap this match up. So the game decided on a TML base at minute 45. Cheese is always good. So Death Squad throwing out the GG and the Control K. Pretty sure Dro won't be too far behind. We'll just speed things up here, as it looks like Rohawk wants to try and stick this out a little bit. He has been building his own Duke here at the back of his base, but surely a forlorn hope at this point. And it looks like that Sid is just going to build up more and more strats. So Sid with a one-man show, almost carrying Team 1 to victory. Perhaps that statement's a little bit cruel on Ronin, who's actually played really well himself in a different kind of way. It's definitely Sid that's won the match, but Ronin's defensive grit and determination have managed to repel everything that Team 2 have thrown down that right hand side of the map. And of course, the single arty belonging to Ronin was far more effective than the 3 arty offered up by Team 1. And the strats are on the move now. They're going to make their approach from the right hand edge of the map. Rohawk's ACU is almost back up to full health as he gets some more shields online. And we've actually had a support commander group move down the left side to get a firebase going, and that's attracted the attention of Rohawk's ASF, and that is the signal for the strat bombers to make their run, and in they come. And there goes the finale, the last com going down finally to the strats of Sid. Very lucky Rohawk to survive the first strat attempt from Sid. Of course, that epic block of the 2 strats from the ASF of Death Squad. Hilarious. Taking a look at the scores on the doors here, and Sid finishing top scorer, probably unsurprisingly. Let's jump in and take a look at the categories, and Sid almost with a clean sweep here. Mass income, units built and kills. The only category going elsewhere was power income, which actually went to Ronin. In terms of man of the match, very simple decision here. Sid with a virtual carry for his entire team, with some excellent airplay and a very cheeky TML base to swing the match in Team 1's direction at the end. Thank you very much for watching, guys. I hope you enjoyed the replay. Please don't forget to give the content a thumbs up if you did enjoy it, and also make sure to fill out the poll and give me some feedback on the changes we made at the start of how we start these things up. Right, guys, thank you very much. Take care. I'll see you in the next one.